welcome to EDU728 class. The course is titled The Method of Teaching Nigerian Languages. When we talk of Nigerian languages, we are talking, in this course we are talking about the three major Nigerian languages. And these languages are Hausa language, Igbo language, and Yoruba language. So this course, the course guide and justification for the rationale for the teaching of three major languages. That is what the course is all about. Because the method of teaching Nigerian languages is prepared in such a way to guide us as teachers of languages and also to expose us to the justification as well as the rationale for the teaching of the three major languages that we have. So the 728 is a methodology course designed for the teaching of the three major Nigerian languages. And like I said, when we talk of three major languages, we are talking about Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. So EDU728 is sociolinguistically significant to Nigerians because of the potential for supporting the emergence of an official language through the use of the three major languages. So the course is designed in such a way to expose language teachers, especially indigenous language teachers, to see the nitty-gritty of coming together and the possibility of having an official language from the indigenous language. So it is a course designed to support the emergence of one out of the three major languages to become an official language. Since we know that the Nigerian child is faced with find himself in a trilingual setting. When we talk of trilingual setting, we will see that a child in Nigeria, when we talk of trilingual setting, it occurs in such a way that the child has to learn three languages. And this is because Nigeria has no single national language. We all know that Nigeria has no single national language that is indigenous. The national language we have is land, not Akwa, and that is English language. So this is one of the reasons why this is one of the reasons why a Nigerian child finds himself in a trilingual setting. Apart from that, federal government also instituted a language policy which seek or which make the Nigerian child to find himself in a situation where he or she has to learn English language, has to learn one of the three major languages apart from his mother tongue, and also acquisition of the mother tongue. So trilingual approach led to the development of this course according to the language policy, which is embedded in the National Policy on Education, which states that the Nigerian child, has to learn English language, has to learn one of the three major languages as the second language, apart from English language, and also to have acquired the mother tongue, which is the first language. So this course focuses on Nigeria's three major languages. And when we talk of three major languages, we are talking about Hausa language, Igbo language, and Yoruba language. And these languages are recognized by the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria. And they are also have their space. They are well recognized in the National Policy on Education and also the language policy, which is embedded in the National Policy on Education. This language academic discipline can be learned in colleges of education, they can be learned in primary school, in secondary school, in colleges of education, and in universities. That is, a child can learn this language right from primary school, secondary school, college of education, to university, and then a student can have highest qualification, which is PhD in these languages. languages. That is, a child um, can have PhD in Hausa language, in Igbo language, and other language. So the learning outcome of this course, like I said, is for us as teachers to be well equipped and to know how to go about all these things as it relates to teaching and learning of the three major languages. So the outcome of the course is to study socio-political necessity. What are the social, the political structure or social structure that led us to the teaching of Nigerian languages, especially the three major languages? What are the socio-political benefits we tend to gain when a child is a trilingual in Nigeria? This course also will help us to understand the relationship between the teaching of Nigerian languages and the national policy on education. It will help us to know what the language policy is saying as regards language issues in Nigeria. This course also aims to explain the political advantages we tend to gain when we teach the three major languages in secondary school. Apart from this, it also will help us to identify and to explain challenges as well as difficulties in the teaching of these three major languages, to expose us to challenges that the child needs to contend with when he's learning the second language, such as interference, such as difficulty, interference, which could be in the spoken English, which can be spoken aspect of the language, which can be in grammar, which can be in semantics as well as syntax, and so on. So because also we'll explain the relevance of EDU728 to a Nigerian child. What relevance does it have on the Nigerian child? So this course will expose us as teachers to the relevance of a child having of a child learning the three languages, and also is going to this course also will equip us as teachers to know that there are hurdles that we need to overcome, or there are things that we need to overcome if we want to really implement the national language policy to the latter. Course aims to identify structural differences among the three major languages, to see their similarities, to see their differences, and to help us in learning them, so that by the time a child is exposed to them, to any one of them, it will not only be for formal use. The child will also be able to read and write in them, and also will be able to communicate on them. So because aims to develop communication competence in the child through effective teaching and through effective method of teaching and learning the three major languages. This course also aims at stating the implication of structural differences among the three languages for the learners of any of Nigerian major languages. It also explains the meaning and relevance of trilingualism in language policy. This course exposes us as teachers to trilingualism issue in language policy in Nigeria, so that as teachers we know that our students has to learn three languages in order to the second language, the first second language, which is English, and the other second language, which is the language, which is one language out of the three languages different from the mother tongue characters. So let us now look at the aims and structure of this course. The course aims to introduce you to the sociolinguistic setting of Nigeria, so that you can be familiar with language situation. As a language teacher, you can be familiar with language policy, so that when you know what language policy states as regard language teaching, you will be able to implement them, and then it will help effective teaching and learning of the language. It also helps to give basic outline of second language methodology or pedagogy adapted to teaching each of these languages, because language is unique. And for you to learn a language, you cannot use the language, another language to learn your language. You must learn that language using that language. So it's adapted to teach each of Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba language as second language to Nigerian students in secondary school, because the language policy states that the students must be introduced to that at WAEC level, the students must write exam and pass it in must write exam and pass one of the three major languages apart from the student mother. So the course EDU728 is equipped to link language pedagogy with other areas of language, especially other areas of language education and linguistics studies such as sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics, communication competence, and pragmatics to bring out their relevances to area of cooperation in language teaching and learning, so that as teachers, when we are well blended in social linguistics, psycholinguistics, communicative competence, and then the application of linguistic study to language study, then we'll be able to bring out the relevant area, we'll be able to teach effectively, and our students also will be able to learn effectively. So the course also is saddled with the ability with critique of Nigerian language policy. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Where are we um, not effective in language policy implementation? Or what do we need to do as teachers when we discover that our students are contending with learning two second languages, and also they have to acquire their mother tongue. Then because also we equip us necessary academic and professional competences that is required of us to teach. This means that as teachers, we cannot just go as somebody that knows how to speak a language is not is the ability to speak a language is not sufficient for us to go to class and start teaching. We have to have academic competencies professionally developed so that we will be able to teach effectively. The ability to speak the language is different from going to class to teach the language. When you are teaching the language, you have to equip yourself with necessary academic and professional competencies that are necessary for you to teach effectively. Teacher. So because you also equip us with necessary ingredients that we need to have when it comes to language learning, necessary ingredients like linguistic studies, literature, sociology, psychology, the contribution of language and culture, language and human relation, and medium of education, and language as a medium of education in Nigeria. We also equip us with correct perspective to language study when it comes to acquisition and language learning, so that we will know when it is acquisition and when it is learning. We'll be able to know what are the benefits when it is acquisition and when it is learning. How can we make second language learning so effective that a lot of challenges that a student might face will be reduced to. So how do we go about this course, or what are the expectations? The course code, like I said, or like I've been saying, is EDU728, and it is method of teaching Nigerian languages. It is an integral part of PGDE course. It is a PGDE course in National Open University, specifically designed for those who find themselves in teaching as a profession, but who are yet to qualify as teachers. So that through this course, you'll be exposed to the ingredients that you need to equip yourself with as a language teacher, so that when you go to class, you know how to go about language, because language. So EDU728 is a 2-unit course with 3 modules. We have 3 modules. Each of the modules has 5 units. And then that means we are going to study 15 units in all. At the end of each unit, there is self-assessment exercise and tutored mark assignment. And so, as students, we have to treat this self-assessment exercise and you have to go through the tutor mark assignment. And so weekly, when we meet, you go through the unit, and on your own part also, you read the unit, and then you digest it. And so with this, we come to the end of the class. So I am saying thank you for listening. Nagode, Eshe, Daalu, Imela, Anya. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.